Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Though children are meant to be loved, sometimes that's not always the case with some people. While they're meant to be cared for, sometimes parents lose sight of their role and snap. Warning: the material found in this video may not be suitable for all audiences. Number 10. Gary Sherrill. Gary decided to go into the new year with blood on his hands, having slaughtered his 13-year-old son with an axe on December 31, 2013. It's not so straightforward, though, Gary tried to explain to his interrogators. While he doesn't deny striking something with an axe, Gary claimed the figure he saw was too big to be his son, rather a demon that must have possessed him. 6 days earlier, on Christmas, friends of Sherrill had phoned 911 in response to the man's claims that somebody was going to get hurt, and increasingly strange behavior the days leading to the incident. At his arraignment hearing in January of 2014, Sherrill pleaded not guilty to the murder, while his defense put the gears in motion by alleging issues with his mental state. Number 9. Timothy Ray Jones, Jr. For 9 days, Timothy Ray Jones, Jr. drove across the southeastern United States, the stench of death and maggots infesting his Cadillac Escalade. A portion of those days, Jones was driving around with 5 garbage bags stuffed with the lifeless bodies of his children. A paranoid Jones allegedly believed his children planned to kill him and feed him to the dog, launching a series of events that wound up with the body-stuffed garbage bags being left on a hillside in Camden, Alabama, and Jones being stopped for DUI in Smith County, Mississippi. As of December 2015, 1 year and 2 months after the murders, Jones was undergoing psychiatric evaluation to determine viability of the death penalty. Number 8. Dora Luz Buenrostro. For Susanna, Vincent, and Deidre, October 26, 1994 likely ended as any other day. Little did they know it would be their last day alive. The next evening, their mother, Dora Luz Buenrostro, brutally murdered them, slaying the 9-year-old Susanna and the 8-year-old Vincent while they slept. 2 days prior, Dora turned to her 4-year-old daughter, broke a knife off in her neck, stabbed her repeatedly with a ballpoint pen, and left her at a post office. During the testimony at her penalty hearings, Dora was said to show no remorse, and throughout her trial, she was more concerned with proving that she was framed than sorrow over her dead children. In 1998, Dora was sentenced to the death penalty. Number 7. Darlie Lynn Routier. Today, she sits on death row, awaiting her final days while her supporters on the outside attempt to get her case reopened. In 1996, she was simply a wife and mother of 3 boys, Damon, Devin, and Drake, whose lives would change forever that June. On June 6th, Routier states having slept through an attack on herself, Damon, and Devin by an unknown assailant. Damon and Devin were stabbed to death, while Routier suffered superficial wounds and a slit throat that came within 2 inches of her carotid artery. Inconsistencies poked holes in her story, which, coupled with a blood-spattered expert's report and claims that Routier wished to continue a lavish lifestyle without her children in the way, led to her eventual arrest and conviction. Number 6. Justin Ross Harris. I love my son and all, but we both need escapes. Justin Ross Harris's words to an online companion the morning his 22-month-old son, Cooper, was left to suffocate in the back of an SUV. Harris had gone into work with Cooper still in the vehicle, only noticing his lifeless son shortly after driving away about 7 hours later. Attracting attention from the public, a frantic Harris had claimed Cooper had been choking moments earlier. Harris was arrested the next day for felony murder and second-degree child cruelty, leading to the seizing of his work and home computers. Reports allege that Harris, and possibly his then-wife, Leanna, had searched how long it would take for an animal to die in a hot car. Number 5. Michelle Kehoe. A life sentence without parole, 25 additional years, and 10 concurrent years added on are what Judge Bruce Zager deemed justifiable for the murder of 2-year-old Seth Kehoe. The criminal? Seth's own mother, Michelle Lynn Kehoe. It's likely Michelle would have been caught anyway for her heinous crime in 2008, but it's because she didn't finish the job that caused her plan to blame a stranger for the murder of her son to fail. While Michelle was convicted of killing Seth, She received 25 years for attacking her 7-year-old son, Sean, who survived the ordeal. Both Sean and Seth were found the morning of October 27th in the family van by a pond, throats slashed. Seth succumbed to his wounds, but Sean went on to tell police of his mother's deed. Number 4. Lacey Spears. When you think of murder, you likely picture a quick act, something sudden, to the point, like a gunshot to the head or a slashed throat. Lacey Spears is a murderer, convicted of killing her 5-year-old son, Garnett Paul, but this was no quick death. Over the course of a few years, Spears was believed to have been poisoning her son with high concentrations of salt through his stomach tube. Prosecution believed Spears to have been enjoying the attention she received as she blogged about her son's constant illness and medical troubles. In response to being accused, and later convicted, Spears did the only classy thing left to do, and actually blamed Garnett, stating he would play with the tube occasionally and could have put something in it. Number 3. China Arnold. There's something truly, deeply disturbing about an individual that can shove another human being into a microwave oven and essentially cook them to death. The scenario, though outlandish, is exactly how 28-day-old Paris Arnold was killed by her mother. During a fight with her boyfriend over who Paris's father really was, China Arnold is alleged to have put Paris into a microwave for approximately 2 minutes. The infant's internal temperatures reached critical levels, leading to her death shortly after. A series of messy trials and appeals eventually ended with Arnold's sentencing in 2011, life in prison without parole, a decision her lawyers sought to appeal thereafter. Number 2. Megan Huntsman. For the town of Provo, Utah, it was the unbelievable story of the century. Over a period of 10 years, from 1996 to 2006, a meth-addicted Huntsman birthed, then immediately murdered 6 children. Immediately after birth, Huntsman strangled or suffocated her child and unceremoniously wrapped their bodies, placed them in plastic bags, and kept them in boxes. Ironically, Huntsman didn't try to argue her innocence and rather pleaded guilty to avoid trial and reduce the minimum possible sentence to 5 years. Despite owning up to her crime, Judge Daryl McDade gave Huntsman a minimum 30 years to life in prison sentence. Huntsman's estranged husband, Darren, discovered the bodies while doing a simple garage cleaning. Number 1. Andrea Yates. She'll pop up here and there to tell of her tragic story. But all anybody will ever remember of Andrea Yates is the murder of all 5 of her children. On June 20, 2001, Yates gathered her children and drowned each of them in the bathtub. But it may not be as clear as simple cold-blooded homicide. Yates had a history of depression. Most recent to the murders was treatment for postpartum depression and psychosis. After her 5th child, Yates was admitted into a treatment network where she was prescribed psychotropic treatments. Despite her mental history, Yates initially received life in prison with parole eligibility after 40 years, a conviction turned over by the Court of Appeals in favor of finding her not guilty by reason of insanity and committing her to a state hospital. Do you have an idea for a future Top 10 video? Let us know in the comments section below, and look for the links to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our website, top10archive.net.